If you're a Spider-Man fan, this is exactly why you should be excited for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Because before audiences even see the first big action sequence, Marvel is already proving they understand what makes Spider-Man special: the fans and the details. And it comes down to a few shots that most people won't even notice. Recently, Tom Holland and director Destin Daniel Cretton revealed that they wanted to recreate some of the most iconic Spider-Man comic book covers ever printed. And now here's where that's fascinating. These probably won't be the final battle. They're probably not going to be the climactic moment. In fact, they're probably just going to be a short montage near the beginning of the movie of Spider-Man talking and saying, I've been busy recently, or something like that. Maybe even similar to Spider-Verse, where he's, talking about being excited, being Spider-Man and getting knocked down and getting back up. But most audiences will see them and probably forget them. But comic book fans will, and real fans will, because these poses have been burned into our memories for decades. And Marvel could have easily said, nobody can notice that. It doesn't have to do the storyline. Like, why would we take the time to do that? They could have completely, just used different camera angles, or like relied on CGI and skipped the references altogether. But instead, they chose to honor the artists and storytellers who made Spider-Man iconic for the long time before he was ever on screen. And to me, that's what's exciting about this movie, and that's what great adaptations are all about, is not, you know, copying every panel, but like respecting the source material and paying attention to those details that longtime fans feel seen and makes us feel seen. And so what the crazy part about it is it wasn't easy to do this. According to the filmmakers, these shots were captured at 420 frames per second, and at that speed, every tiny movement is obvious. So Tom Holland, it wasn't that easy. He had to be very careful with the way he moved his body to hit the pose exactly. And so Tom Holland had to jump, and he had to control every single muscle while the stunt ridge launched him toward the camera, and recreating that artwork that fans love for generations was very difficult for them to do. And so these shots were nailed surprisingly in just a couple of takes, which shows his talent. Uh, and it's such a small detail, but some of these small details tell you just a lot about the people making this movie and what's going into this movie. And they're not just trying to make another blockbuster. They're trying to make a Spider-Man movie that feels like it was made by the people who grew up loving Spider-Man. It's like a love letter to Marvel fans. And so putting this much care into a montage that only is probably going to be a couple seconds at the beginning of the movie just shows how much care they're putting into the rest of the movie and how much they're putting into Brand New Day. And that's the kind of thing that gets me excited for this movie, and it should get you excited. It's the kind of filmmaking comic book fans deserve. And if you love learning about stories and the magic behind the movies, comics, and characters we all grew up with, you're in the right place. Subscribe to Privy Story, where we kind of cover all the magic behind the stories we know and love. I'll see you next time.